My name is Janae Strachey, and this is On Air with Heritage Action, a podcast built for conservatives. Twice a week, we break down in 5-ish minutes or less how you can get involved today in the fight for conservative values.
Hi, I'm Carson, and this is On Air with Heritage Action. Last week, new inflation numbers were released, and it's no surprise that they were terrible. In fact, inflation rose 9.1% for the month of June, which was even worse than the economists predicted. 9.1% is a huge number, but when you break it down, it's so much higher than that. The cost for everyday essentials is completely skyrocketing. Milk and coffee prices are up about 16%, butter is up more than 21%, flour more than 19%, and eggs are up a staggering 33%. Regular gasoline is up more than 60%, and electricity is almost 14%. And wages are certainly not keeping up with inflation. Research from the Heritage Foundation found that real wages are down 3.7% over the past 12 months, which is nearly a 40-year record. That means that a typical family now pays more than $1,900 in inflation tax. Though Nancy Pelosi may call that crumbs, that's a lot of money. Imagine what else you could do for your family if the Biden administration let you keep that $1,900 you worked so hard to earn. From the beginning of his presidency, Joe Biden has tried to shift blame so that he doesn't have to take responsibility for the problem that his policies have created. First, Biden told us that inflation was transitory. Then he blamed it on the meat industry and so-called corporate greed. Later, following the Russian invasion of Ukraine, Biden tried to blame it on Vladimir Putin. Then he tried to villainize and blame the oil industry, which he's also trying to destroy. And finally, now it's the Republicans' fault. Even though his party controls both Congress and the White House and put the policy in place that got us to this situation. It seems that the Democrats are now even starting to buy their own lies. Rather than working to curb spending, control the national debt, or unleash American energy independence, they're working on another reconciliation bill, which would likely spend about $1 trillion more of your taxpayer dollars on top of the $2 trillion American Rescue Plan. They're talking about canceling student loan debt for the wealthy, and they're shelling out billions of dollars for other countries while leaving our own country and our own border behind. Both Democrats in Congress and in the White House all seem to be in complete denial about the impact their policies are having on our economy, our livelihoods, and the future of our children. Aside from our daily struggles at the grocery store or gas pump, new polling shows that Americans are now overwhelmingly concerned about their retirement prospects. Home sale cancellations are also spiking to pandemic-era levels, and 70% of Americans now think a recession is coming. And some economists are agreeing with them. Maybe Democrats are in denial, or maybe they're actually deliberately pushing the policies they know will hurt Americans. By now, we all know that the left never lets a crisis go to waste, especially when it's one of their own making. President Biden and his administration have been pretty clear about their intentions to push a Green New Deal, to destroy the fossil fuel industry, and to spend exorbitant amounts of money on their woke cultural agenda. They've laughed at the plight of American workers and families. They've lied to us and offered solutions like buy an electric vehicle to solve our inflation problems. They don't care that the people are suffering because they are getting their way with a much bigger and much more dangerous policy agenda. They are telling us that they are pushing a so-called clean energy agenda because of inflation. But what came first, their radical climate activism or inflation? It's obvious that Biden just sees inflation as an opportunity instead of a problem. While Joe Biden and the left try to tell us that their spending and energy policies haven't caused our current economic situation, we all know better. We see what we spend every day at the grocery store, the gas pump, and we see the changes in our utility bills. We all know that this is not Putin's fault, and by now it's glaringly obvious that it isn't transitory. It's a direct result of President Biden's policies and Democrats' reckless spending measures. There are plenty of solutions that they could do to help our economy and bring down inflation, like cutting spending or allowing American energy to flourish, but the left refuses to do that. Instead, they sent President Biden to Saudi Arabia to beg for foreign oil. Think back to your life even just 2 or 3 years ago. Were you better off or were you worse off? Unless you're a coastal elite Democrat, your answer is probably worse off. No matter the left's reason for pushing these irresponsible policies, we need to fight back. We need to contact our elected representatives at all levels of government and demand more fiscal responsibility and energy independence. We need to tell this administration that they cannot lie to us about the impacts of their policies and that we're tired of their excuses. We need to engage in the rulemaking process and show up to the polls to support the candidates who are in line with our values. And most importantly, it's time for President Biden to stand up, be a leader, and say the buck stops with me.
That's it for another episode of On Air with Heritage Action. Thank you for tuning in. If you like what you heard in today's episode, please click the follow button. If you want to receive a text message each time a new episode airs, text podcast to 51776 and you'll never miss an episode. That's podcast to 51776. Hi, it's me again, and we need your help. If you like the insights and activist resources we are providing, please take 1 minute and help us spread the word. Share this episode with friends and family on social media, email, or text. We need everyone's help in the fight to hold Washington accountable. And don't forget, you are also able to subscribe and listen to episodes on your smartphone. Just open up your favorite podcast app and search for On Air with Heritage Action. Click subscribe and download episodes so you can take them with you on the go. It's the best way to make sure you never miss a thing. Thanks.